Okay, you guys. Hey, you guys. Let me see who's in the chat on this side. Keisha is on the line with us today, and I think Bree will be popping in a hot second.
Hey everybody, you have to excuse my voice. I
You didn't
have
get,
another cold.
girl. You didn't
Yes,
get
girl.
sick again,
Yes.
girl. What is going on?
I don't know. It came out of nowhere.
Hey, Bree.
Hey everybody.
How are
Hey
ya?
Bree.
I'm so happy it's Friday.
Me too. And our girl Keish got another cold.
Oh my goodness. I know it's probably the temperature probably dropped up there, right?
It did. It was like I don't know, 30 between 30 and like 19 degrees all week, and then yesterday it was like 50. Yesterday, today, and this whole weekend is supposed to be like 50.
Oh wow, is the high?
Uh huh.
Oh my goodness. Because
Yeah,
my
it came out
grandma,
of nowhere.
yeah, my family is from Indiana. They told me like the weather had dropped, but like in different parts of Indiana it's different. But I feel for you guys.
Oh, girl. Listen, shoot, my
Okay.
my
Sorry.
son. We did a lot of traveling last weekend, as you guys probably know, because we didn't. Of course, we didn't have a show last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, as soon as he got back to his home in Minnesota, he called me this morning, Mom. I'm so congested. I'm like, oh Lord.
Oh goodness, being in and out the car and moving and stuff.
Yeah.
I can imagine. But did he enjoy his birthday? Did he enjoy their birthday?
Well, it was my daughter's birthday yesterday.
Your daughter.
And
Did
yeah,
he enjoy her birthday?
yeah, yeah, she did. She went and got bundt cakes. We took her out for dinner this past weekend before we left. And yeah, she went to a basketball game. So yeah, she had a good
Oh,
time. Mm-hmm.
aw. Happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to her.
Yeah, matter of fact, she just sent me a text message as we were talking. Y'all didn't spoke up. Oh my goodness. But it wasn't nothing. She's sending me a TikTok. So, welcome you guys to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where Keisha, Bree, and myself, Letitia, will be recapping both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of November 27th through December 1st. Now, I know we didn't have a show last week, but I really don't. I mean, it was 3 days last week. We on The Bold and the Beautiful. Brooke and Ridge had a whole episode.
Man.
We had the situation with Zende, and I think that was it. And then The Young and the Restless, it just led us into deeper into that Claire storyline. So,
The worst horror movie ever.
girl, but you know what's so interesting? We really don't have a lot to talk about because on The Young and the Restless, it's only two storylines that happened this week. Monday through Wednesday was the whole Claire thing, right? Claire
Hmm.
Jordan and Oregon. Thursday and Friday was all about Tucker and, them trying to set him up and all this old kind of stuff. And then Bold, this entire week was all about Eric. Who said that? I know
Y'all
that
know
was
how I feel
Keish.
about that.
Yeah.
Y'all know that was me.
Oh
Oh,
my
let's
goodness.
just go ahead and get into it, girl. It's just like, oh, man. Okay, so we're going to start with The Young and the Restless. But before we do, make sure when you come in that you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not, because there were spoilers, and we do live chats and recaps and sweeps updates and all that good stuff that's over here. And also on other platforms besides YouTube, we're on X, TikTok, Instagram, and all those other good places as well. So it's a lot of other clips and there's a blog as well too. So. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down for The Young and the Restless. 4. Hold on, my system is moving slow. Everything was moving slow. You know what? I was trying to send you guys the link to this, for you guys to log into the podcast
Hmm.
and drop that link in the group chat, and it wouldn't drop. That's why I'm like, that's what took me so long, because I'm like, how am I gonna send it? So I had to go over to Facebook Messenger to send it to Keish, and then I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get this to Bree? Oh yeah, I got her email, and then I had to email it to you because I tried it several times. It wouldn't copy and paste over there. I don't know what happened with that. That was weird.
Oh,
Uh,
that's all good. It's okay. We have a really good chat that likes to hang with us, enjoy the live, and like we talk about our soap. So we appreciate you guys' patience and hanging out with us. So it's all good.
Okay, so let's go ahead, and you gonna be all right, Keish?
uh, yes, but I might have to hang up a couple of times so I'm not in y'all's ear coughing.
Oh my goodness, girl. I hope you.
Please feel better.
Yeah, she been
I'm
she been
trying.
she been dealing with stuff before, since she left Florida.
Uh, Bree, that's your state.
Look. I didn't give you the sickness. Florida gave you the sickness. Okay. No, but I do hope you feel better. It's that time of year, especially in Florida. A lot of people are. It's a lot of stuff up in the air, so I'm staying inside most of December.
Right. You know what? I was pretty much over that dry cough that I had after I got sick the last time, and then this legit just happened Tuesday morning. I
Oh
woke up and
wow.
started feeling like crap, and then just today I lost my voice. Well, I didn't lose it, but I mean, you guys can hear the difference in my voice right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's strange. Anyway, let's get on with
Anyway.
this show.
Okay. All right. So for The Young and the Restless for the week of November 27th through December 1st, Jordan revealed that she's Eve's Howard's sister and Claire's Victoria's daughter, while Sally kisses Adam. Jordan slashes Nick and corners Nikki and Victor after explaining that she stole baby Claire from the hospital. The Newmans get the antidote in the nick of time after Victor fights off Jordan and she escapes. Billy suspect Kyle's Tucker's secret weapon, that he's Tucker's secret weapon, and Summer catches Kyle and Diane scheming. Chance resigns, Tucker and Audra make out, and Summer is clear on her feelings for Chance. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this whole thing around Tucker. So okay, the biggest problem in this whole situation to me is Kyle. I mean, I don't like the fact that Diane got him. Well, he could have said no. So
Exactly, because as much as he, says that he's a grown man, he doesn't want to be coddled. He keeps saying that he wants to do the right thing. He has the ability to go tell his dad and let him know what's going on, and he's choosing to do what he wants to. He's still out for himself. He hasn't learned nothing.
Right.
girl, I'm telling you, my thing is this: it's so many moving parts because you got Ashley trying to get Devon to stop Tucker, you got Diane trying to get Kyle to undermine Tucker, and then you got Billy is trying to figure out what he's gonna do about Kyle in regards to what Tucker is doing. Somewhere along the line, these three trains are gonna meet on the same intersection.
Yeah.
And Tucker is going to win. They've turned Tucker into the new Victor Newman. You see how they do that? Because back in the day, it was always Victor Newman was the enemy. He was always a target. It was always a battle.
Hmm.
Now Jack is battling with Tucker. I feel like they're shifting things a little bit because Tucker has his hands pretty much in most of these companies. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he probably has, yeah, and he had Audra at Newman, so he's really playing Monopoly the correct way.
Yeah. I mean, I like the intrigue of it all because it gives us a little bit of a something to watch. But this, I'm just, man, listen, Kyle, this whole thing is about to blow up. And my thing is, once it's coming out that Diane set this thing in motion and Kyle agreed upon it, do you think that this could destroy the relationship that Diane have with Jack?
No.
No.
She said no.
Jack will be mad at her for 2 days, and he'll go back to um, being head over heels in love with her like he has been for the last year. I don't think it's going to change anything.
You say 2 days, I say 2 hours. You know, Jack loves his criminals. You know, he loves a woman with a devious mindset. That's why he was always back and forth with Phyllis so much. So this is lightweight work. He'll see it as like she's looking out for their son, and you know. And I think Jack already said when he was talking with Billy, he already pretty much put the blame on Tucker anyway, regardless if Kyle came clean about it or not. But
exactly.
So it I don't think it would affect too much.
I think the question is what will Ashley and Billy do, or how would they feel about it? Because right now they both have basically called a truce with Diane. Well, Billy never really had a huge issue with her. It wasn't until she started working there.
Right.
But Ashley, on the other hand, she's been trying to battle Diane for the last 2 years or however long it's been since she's been on the show. So I wonder if they'll go back to her then wanting to try to get rid of Diane again.
That's a good question. My thing is, does it seem like Ashley is still kind of hung up on Tucker?
Yeah, she is. I think it's a mix of her still being hung up on him, but her also wanting to find out what he's up to. But for whatever reason, I don't think Ashley can completely let him go, which is odd to me because that whole time that he was basically begging her to be with him, it was like she was playing hard to get. So it's like, what do you want with this man? Like, do you want to be with him? Or do you just want to completely wash your hands of him? Is this really just about what he's trying to do as far as Jabot is concerned?
She wants this man to act right. As we can see how Abby was trying to get Devon to act right, and that did not happen. And the thing is with Ashley, I don't understand why this woman was crying. What are you crying for about this man? You know this man had no reason yelling at you like that. He had no reason sleeping with Audra while he's still married. And just the fact that this man put you 6 degrees of separation from your nephew should be enough for you to try to walk away. I kind of get Abby's point. It's like, why are you trying to... It's like, is there no other man you can get in Genoa City at this point? So you're going to try to hang on to this man who has no problems, no qualms trying to attack your family. Why are you crying?
No, that was weird. She's an emotional wreck over when we saw her arrive at the hotel after Tucker blew out Audra's back. Because he come downstairs with a big old smile out of his... What you say, Bree?
I'm so over this. I'm so sorry. My bad.
Listen, he come down them stairs with a big old smile on his face, clothes all nice and neat and prim. She come around that corner and then she just looked like she was an emotional wreck. And I'm like, why? Now I gotta give her. Go ahead.
No, you finish.
No, I was gonna say because this whole thing about her taking accountability. And I know Abby and Devon, when they had that conversation at the table, they was like, this ain't none of your fault. And I'm like, she got to take some of it. Because in the beginning, she didn't really want to be with Tucker. She was using Tucker to stick it to Jack. So I'm glad she kind of saw a little bit of her part in some of all of this. Now, I don't agree with the fact of him yelling and tossing chairs around in Paris and all of that nonsense.
That was a bit uncalled for. Once again, she's there crying. That we are 2 different breeds of women. Because that would not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tone, no, it's not even that serious. We're both rich. We're just going to be working in a different place. You're going to figure out what you're going to do with your money. I'm going to go work at my family's company. We're still rich. It was that the anger was not warranted, except for when he was saying, "You made me beg. You made me, walk on eggshells," or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you were saying earlier. Like, I can see that that build up, of frustration, and then she decides to, divert to a different, plan, and made a decision without him too. So I can understand that frustration, but it wasn't warranted. The way he was, slammed the chair and the screaming, it wasn't warranted, all that.
Yeah, I'm curious on why, because this during the time period that we're in and the era that we're in right now, why I'm curious why they would even go there with that. You know what I mean?
It's a common thing that does happen still today, and I don't want to even call it, like, it's not emotional, abuse or anything like that. I wouldn't even call it. I think this is a man who had a lot of buildup
Mm-hmm.
and frustration, and she laid something out on the table that's completely 360 from what they agreed to,
Correct.
and what he put time, money, and effort into. And also, he waited patiently until it was actually time for them to actually get married. And even then, she was still finicky about marrying him then. And this is after, like, wedding dress and venue and all that was decided. So I feel like it was that moment, and I think that's also why she's trying so hard to make things work with him, because she knows that was what was it called, like a isolated event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. What you got? You was gonna say something, Keish?
Well, you already brought it up. I was going to ask you guys what you thought about the flashback that they did of that incident where her and Tucker got in well, really, it was just Tucker yelling at her.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys covered it already.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like he did overreact.
Yeah, the reaction to it was over the top. However, on the flip side, he put up with all of your antics back in Genoa City before you left to go to Paris, and you get all the way out there. Y'all got started a whole, what was it, Simply Ashley it was called, the whole business that they had in the works.
Yeah.
And then she get out there and like, I changed my mind. And he like, look, I didn't put heart, soul, money, I done chased you around and did all this stuff, and this what we doing? So I can understand that part. It's just the reaction and his antics of what he did in Paris with that, like you said, in that flashback, that was way over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't he go back to Audra as soon as he landed? Sure, and they slept together in that same day?
Yes.
Sure did.
And I almost want to say it was the same day she slept with Kyle too.
Girl, I think it was.
That's possible.
It's either the same. It was either the same day or maybe the next episode or something. But it was close. It was real close.
Oh my goodness. And then that's a whole other thing with Tucker and Audra. I don't understand what the whole dynamic is, because after I think the Thanksgiving episodes, like, you can definitely see that there's intimacy, that there's some sort of feelings there. I think this is the man that she actually would want to be with. And I think she has no problem using other men like Nate and Kyle, in between. But I think that's the big fish that she wants. That's why she's loyal to him to a fault.
You know what? She's attracted to power.
Yes.
She's attracted to power, and he's attracted to her ruthless vixen side. So when you got that two of a combination, With Ashley, I think he would have got that romantic side if Ashley had to stay with it. But at the end of the day, I still think that he would have ended up cheating on her somewhere down the road with Audra, because Audra brings that edgy. There's an energy there that they have because they're both ruthless.
Yeah.
They're both ruthless. I can't really say that I know she loves power, but she don't love it too much, because she had
No, not
opportunity
love
to go
as
to
in
Newman.
not love as in an emotion. She's attracted to it. It's an attraction. It's a sexual attraction that she has
To
to
that
that.
power. Oh
Correct.
yeah.
That's
And
what it
how
is.
you manipulate. I got you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because she don't love that man. This is all transactional. It's all transactional.
I don't know. The way Tucker was the way they were talking, it just seemed like it was like they could have been like they if they both wanted to kind of walk that line, they both would be okay with it, because she didn't really give too much pushback when he brought that up. And then the second time they talked about it, they're kissing and then cooking up before he goes down to Ashley with Audra sitting on him.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Bree and Keish. Do you think this particular scene was manipulative sex? So let me explain. Audra was saying, look, if you don't get this together, I'm going to walk. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side, he was worried about her falling in love with Kyle. So was this a way to kind of prove something to each other as well? Maybe for him to get her back in his good graces with trying to stick around for this plan. And on the flip side, prove to him that, oh no, Kyle don't mean nothing to me.
I don't know that she necessarily feels like she has to prove that to him, because, I mean, obviously they've slept together since her and Kyle have started messing around. I think with the two of them, they just enjoy each other that way, no matter what. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I guess I didn't take it that way.
Cheryl Hines said that Audra is the female version of Victor Newman.
No. That's a. I mean, I'm curious in how the correlation is. Is this the ruthlessness, or because?
You okay, Keish?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm about to hang up for a minute until this passes.
Okay, well go
okay.
ahead and then just pop back in when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh, I hope she feels better.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
just. Yeah, I'm curious. Is like is it the ruthlessness? Is it the I guess like the love for power, like what, because I don't really see the correlation between her and Victor. I feel like I feel like her and Tucker have more, they're more humanized in a way, whereas Victor, as we just seen for the past couple of months, he's trying to punish his kids for a position at his job, um, that is interchangeable anyway. But I feel with Tucker and Audra, there is some sense of there's a good balance. Like with Tucker, we get a good balance of this funny, laughable character, and then we get this powerful businessman looking to take over. And I feel
Mm.
she's drawn to that. And I think what works is that she likes to have people in her back pocket. Same with Tucker does. And she said a very valid thing. You taught me well. She can't help but respect Daddy for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Kyle don't know what he's dealing with. He is way out of his league when it comes to both of them. And I know Kyle is trying to reassure Diane, because Diane throws him out there, and then she was like, but I'm worried. You need to be careful of Tucker. Why did you send him back in there anyway? If you now get worried about whether he could get burned.
I am just waiting for the day when it's all revealed that Diane and Tucker have been working together. And I'm hoping that comes out 2024. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that that will be revealed, because why are you pushing your son to the wolves?
Yeah, and then keeping it a secret from your own father. That's crazy. It's like Diane, you just got in good with that entire family. Even if Jack doesn't break up with her, I think that was you, Akeisha, that said that it could still kind of dishevel things with Ashley.
Yes, and actually love about this chemistry between Tucker and Audra is it it makes for a lot of storylines, particularly for Kyle, because for a while, I don't want to say he was in the background. It was just these two characters have altered most of the Abbotts, because I've always known Ashley for being this tough, strong businesswoman. Now she's fallen to her feet over a man who put her in 6 year separation with her nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Kyle, who was making Liam Spencer decisions.
Right. Girl, you crazy.
and and getting played like a fiddle. And this is Jack's son, which granted, yes, this is Jack tendencies too, but just the level of dirtiness for a position, just for a job position. You are listening to your mom push you into the lion's den, and that's a whole other thing. The dynamic between Kyle and his mother, she's in his ear, guiding him to the opposite thing of what she's been preaching to all the Abbotts, the Newmans, anyone who can hear her, saying that she's a changed woman. And I feel all this is going to come out, that her and Tucker are working it together, because all this is connected a little too well. And I think that's also why she don't like Audra either. I, I,
Yeah.
I think it's just she's a little too close for comfort, and maybe that might be revealed that Diane and Tucker have been working together. I don't know, but this whole thing is a mess. I don't feel bad for Kyle at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Keish, you back. You got a little something to say?
I agree with Bree. I don't feel I don't feel bad for Kyle. He started this mess on his own, and now his mom is basically having to. I feel like she's a little bit manipulating him by convincing him to not say anything to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I think she should have just let him confess to that, because especially now, because Billy has that suspicion that he has. So when it comes out, Jack is going to feel like a fool, and Billy is going to be like, "I told you so," and Diane was in on it.
Yep.
So I don't know. I can't wait for it to come out, because I want to see how Jack reacts to it.
Yep, I agree. Now let's kind of switch up a little bit, because this whole thing with Summer, was she okay? So I don't know. When I saw that, I'm like, Summer, are you trying to get back in Kyle's graces? And then he finally put the nail in that coffin when he told her, even though we will never know what would have happened if we had stayed overseas, as far as this point moving forward, nothing's going to happen. But didn't it seem like for a moment that maybe she was wishing that they were working it out or something?
I think so. Well, she really loved that man. And, I think anybody who might, I can't speak for, being divorced or anything like that. I've never been divorced. But I can imagine you would want to try to repair things, especially since you have a child and
Mm-hmm.
that you're raising together. The wounds are still fresh, and they could, work through their issues. They could go to therapy. She probably feels like, what? Things are still worth saving. And he kind of entertained it a little bit, but I feel Diane was pushing that a little bit. I think had Diane not, wasn't there, I think Kyle would have stayed and talked to Summer. I think, they could have had that banter, but He's so caught up in what Audra's doing. He once again, Liam tendencies. Just he could be working on his family, getting his whole life together, but you know.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Keish?
I definitely think she was fishing to see what his response was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she thought or believed that anything would come out of it. Um, I feel like they both know that they're done. I honestly think it was just a curiosity that she had. I didn't really view it as her trying to patch things up with him or see if they could work it out. I just think it was a random, like, I'm just curious how you feel about this. Probably not something that I would have asked if I were her. I would have just kept it to myself because what does it matter? But I didn't take it as her wanting to try to still fix things.
Well, she was definitely very cordial with him. She was lightly joking and laughing. There was no animosity or anger in her conversation, so she was really pleasant about it. I will say
I think
that.
she feels guilty still because
Mhm.
she knows that her actions is what really triggered their breakup. So I think she still has a little bit of guilt there.
Yeah, and I think she took accountability, and I think that's what I like that conversation that her and Diane had because I'm glad they brought up the fact that he slept with a whole other woman while he was married. Um, and granted, Summer did a horrible thing, but he needed to go sleep with Audra. I mean, no, but it's. I feel that maybe she was hopeful. Maybe she felt like Chance was a dead end because she didn't want to interrupt things between him and Sharon. So maybe she came back because it was really weird why she came to the Abbott house versus just calling Jack and asking for his advice or what he needed. Um, or she could actually work from her own house, but I think she wanted to be in that house, in that presence. I think she was really trying to be hopeful.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying because the moment that Kyle walked away, left her standing there, she looked defeated. And then Chelsea came over there and they was like, okay, let's get to work because, the offices hadn't had their power put on yet or whatever. And she was like, look, she looked disheveled. And she was like, look, can we just go somewhere else? So that's why I was trying to figure out that moment. What was she trying to fish for? Like Keisha was saying, like she was fishing for a reaction, a response, or something. Because when Kyle shut her down, talking about at this point, it will never know, it's not going to happen. Her whole energy shifted. And she kind of looked a little disheveled. Chelsea was like, let's get to work. And she was like, no, let's just leave and go somewhere else. Because she been in that house all day. And then all of a sudden now she's ready to leave. And like you just said, she could have been anywhere else at her own place or whatever. So, I don't know. That's why I thought I saw something there. And that's why I was asking y'all what y'all thought about it.
Do you feel like it's a word play because the writers really could have said like we'll never be together, but the way Kyle said it, he kind of just left it in the air like it is what it is right now. That's how I took it.
Well, I mean, anything, these couples, I mean, these folks on here, they usually circle back sometime down the road anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do want to move on to what happened at Crimson Lights. Now, here's my issue, and, let me know what you guys think. Now, at what point are we going to get any type of attraction of Chance to Summer to make that happen? Because he seemed like he's still wrapped up in Sharon. So it'd be different if he had divided attention. I'm feeling something for this woman, but I'm also with this woman. You know how they do in the soaps. Chance looked like he's just focused on Sharon right now.
Why? Can someone please tell me? Did they have like a deep connection or a deep conversation? I could have swore we've seen it. we've seen them like together 4 times, and at least 2 of those times he was shot. So I'm confused. Like, how is he so wrapped up in Sharon? And I'm glad they keep saying, like, are they even serious? Everyone's asking that.
Yeah, well, he
I'm also
seemed like
confused
he's.
about that too.
Oh, go ahead, Keisha. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm also confused about that too. It is like Bree said, it's not like they're displaying some deep connection. So we're not going to be missing anything if they break them up.
But that's the thing. Even though, like you say, it's not a deep connection, he's not showing anything. He's not showing anything but friendly interest to Summer right now. It's not like he has been eyeballing her. She has a crush on him, and he's like, I'm glad you can be a good friend. How are they going to actually kind of shift that to start bring, a build up to him maybe slowly getting attracted to Summer? You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, otherwise, it'll just look like because I know Chelsea is going to next week kind of push and guide Summer to go after Chance. Okay. But he need to bring some energy somewhere, too. And I just don't see that coming from him.
Maybe, um, because he's going to be in the business world, so he could kind of look to her for like business advice. I feel like once Sharon gets wrapped up in her company, she probably won't have the same time that she would normally have with Chance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Summer can kind of come in and they can have that banter then since they're already friends. So I think they have the foundation. So the writers can, you know, put a storyline arc to where it circles back to them. But I mean, we know Sharon's going to go back to Nick, especially after she sees her man got a whole scar on his chest. So this is the longest rebound I've ever witnessed on television. This should have been done and over with after that office scene. That should have been done and over with.
What office? Which office scene are you referring to?
The first one.
The office scene?
Yeah, it's where Chance and Sharon got it on in her.
Oh, you talking about in that back room?
Yeah.
I'm like, what office scene? Okay, I know what you're talking
maybe
about.
They're just trying to. Maybe they're trying to build something between, like, make a foundation of a friendship between Summer and Chance before they throw them into the relationship part of it. Maybe that's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, I know. I just think they dropped the ball on this. They should have never put Chance with Sharon in the first place. I mean, they went on a couple dates and they've been hanging out. And then we didn't see them together for a while until that whole scene that Bree was just talking about in the back room. And then it was pretty much, kind of spread it out, not something consistent over the past several months since then. So it's like, just go ahead and move this storyline forward. We've been talking about this since October. Oh yeah, Summer and Chance. It was in the fall previews that came out at the end of September. And it's like, okay, what are we doing? The man then got shot. Summer then sat by his bedside. We kind of got the preview clip of that a month in advance, and we still here. And he's like, ooh, we have to celebrate, Sharon. I get to spend more time with you. And I'm like, okay.
I saw a spoiler. I can't remember where I saw that. I think it was somewhere on Twitter that said that Sharon, I guess, is supposed to be helping Chance with the business side of things since he's going over to the business world, the corporate world.
Okay.
So, I don't know. When I saw that, I'm like, well, dang, maybe they're not breaking them up anytime soon because now she's going to be helping him get his feet wet on the corporate side of the house.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, move this along. If you're going to put them two together, Let's start doing that. I thought there would have been something that when he got shot and Summer being at his bedside, something would have clicked there with Chance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he,
Right. I was waiting for that.
yeah, and it didn't happen. He just got out the hospital and he was smiling googly eyed at Sharon. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
And
It looks
even
like it
his
was
mom,
her.
and even his mom don't even want her with him at all. She
Yeah.
expresses her feelings like, there's plenty of other women outside of Sharon. Well, he's busy, Sharon. Can you come back? But yeah,
May-
she's
Maybe this
understandable.
is maybe this is Young and the Restless version of their slow burn, kind of like how they have been doing with Thomas and Hope over the summer.
Oh my God. Well, so we're
I
going
mean,
to
I
get a
know
bunch
those
of.
stories aren't comparable, but
Hey, listen, Keish and Bree, are we going to get a bunch of disco fantasies of Summer dreaming about Chance?
she probably already do
Her.
that. It needs to be on Chance's side of the house. He needs to be dreaming about her.
Well, wait a minute. Remember, she's the one that got a crush on him. He's still googly eyed at this moment for
I
Sharon.
know, but because of that, because we already know Summer has her crush.
Mm-hmm.
Chance needs to be the one that one day he just starts to see Summer in the way that she sees him, and he
That's a
starts
good point.
fantasizing about her.
Like how Hope start fantasizing about Thomas all of a sudden.
Right.
I gotcha. But like what his I mean, it'll be more fun to see Summer just fantasizing. Like her would be like a whole pop music video or something. Hers, like she would have the Britney Spears outfit. She would have the dancers in the background.
Mm-mm.
But I'm hoping if this is a slow, I'm hoping that this would be the slow burn where it's Summer and Chance. That would be hot. And if it's a hot
Yeah.
buildup like what we saw for that little moment, that one episode with Sharon and Chance, the way we see him with Sharon, I want to see that times 1,000 with Summer.
Exactly.
Yep. I agree. They better make it hot with
Yeah,
those
they don't
two.
have a choice.
They don't have a
If
choice.
they, if they're gonna drag us through this, then by the time that they get together, it needs to be like electric.
Exactly. Exactly. Then we got this other thing that happened earlier in the week, which is Sally being confused, and then she turned around and was the one that initiated the kiss with Adam. I'm like, Adam, you need to be like, look, girl, figure this out, and then we could talk about this. Because she was like, well, I don't know, and I'm so confused, and I'm not sure, and I need some space, and I need to think about it. And he was like, okay, can I walk? Well, I don't trust the fact that you walked me to my room. You remember the last thing that happened? Well, can I walk you to the door? Okay. And then when he walks her to the door, she was the one that pushed him up against the wall and kissed him. Thoughts?
But
I
I'm
don't.
not gonna lie now. I skipped their scenes because they both getting on my
I'm
nerves.
over
I,
it. Go ahead,
I have
Bree.
no thoughts. I'm out of thoughts. I'm so
Yeah.
out of thoughts. Why is she still confused? Since she's been on a Young and the Restless, why is this girl still confused? Confused about what? You already done slept with him. You already know what's up. You were pregnant with his baby. You know
Right.
how this man feel. What are you confused? Confused about what? I have no thoughts. There's she don't deserve any thoughts at all.
Wait a minute. So are we Adam and Sallied out officially? Because I mean, we've been dealing with this nonsense for the past almost what, a year and a half now. So
I'm tapped out.
I just want them to figure it out. Like that's all I want. I don't. I'm not interested in her not knowing what she wants.
right,
Like either you're gonna be with him or you're not.
It's on her. He's been cleared for a year and some change.
mm-hmm,
He's been clear. And this is even while she was sleeping with his brother. He's been clear. It's her. And she's still, why are you confused? About what?
about what exactly? And if you need, and stop listening to your cuckoo Chloe friend. She's the one that's continuously say, Adam, bad man. Adam is a bad man. You don't want to be with him. You don't want to think about him. You don't even want to know that he's around. It's like, how many times does you have to say that to Sally? I think she's caught up in this whole thing about the fact that she don't want to look certain way to the world and her friends if she decide to go back to Adam.
Well, I can't say that because Sally was with two billionaire sons. Well, she had access to two billionaire sons. She's around men with money. She has all this access to a lot of things. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. I feel with Chloe. I feel she don't want the same repeated cycle that Chelsea had with Adam.
Yeah, but and I agree with you on that. But they gonna end up doing what they want to do. And if she
Yeah.
want, you know what I'm saying. And so if she wants to go ahead and be with Adam, just go ahead and just get it over with. Why are you playing these games? Like you said, she been in Genoa City for almost 2-3 years now. You can't. And I mean, originally she was going after Jack and Kyle cousin was Dio, stuff like that. And then Adam came into the picture, and everybody got excited about that because they had excellent chemistry. And then boom, here we go.
It's just unfortunate, and the thing is, and I hate this. I'm not trashing the actress at all. I love Courtney Hope,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's just the direction of Sally's character is just very frustrating because I know that this character can really win and like Audra win on the show because Sally, the way that she's a hustler. She's the type of person who should be having people in her back pocket. She should be back and forth between Nick and Adam effortlessly. She shouldn't be confused about anything. She should be able to have had a fashion house. I don't know why she's into interior design. I'll never understand a lot of her choices, but she was really suited for B&B. She's a whole designer. And you know what? What kills me is there's no other design house they can rival with over there. But
Right, right.
Sally's here on
Girl,
Genoa and on Y&R. I
girl.
don't get that.
Yeah. It's just like I'm over this whole Adam and Sally thing. I would like for them to move Adam out of that. I still would like to see him with Audra. I mean, not per se in, I guess in business, but they would make a hot scene together.
Well, he would have to pull the other men from off the top of her first. I mean, he needs a ticket at this point because you got Nate, you got Kyle, you got Tucker, you got Casper the Friendly Ghost. Anyone can apparently get it in Genoa City. So I'm sure he'll be on that list. Same will Nick, and throw Victor on the bandwagon too.
Girl, you are too funny. Oh man. So, okay. I thought there was something else I was going to bring up about this, but we still got to do the whole Claire storyline as well.
Oh man.
Okay.
This was the slowest horror movie, a necessary horror movie I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Girl, 3 days. We had 4 days of Thope, which we did not mind that at all. But we had 3 days of the House of Horrors over in Oregon. Yep. Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. That whole interaction between Nate and Audra at Crimson Lights, where they decided to go and have a coffee date when she was trying to recruit him. Remember that?
Yeah, once again, very proud of Audra. She is the MVP of this year on Y&R without question, because she is having all these men in her back pocket, and she knows that he's out at Newman, but he's going to have an in over at Chancellor Winters. And since Tucker's already on the fence when it comes to, well, Devon is already on the fence when it comes to Tucker, this is another way into Chancellor Winters. It's going to be through Nate.
Girl, listen, he's sitting over there. I mean, she's sitting over there talking about you want to work alongside with me in this particular business deal. I'm like, listen, you just got your family back on your side. I don't think you need to listen to anything Audra has to say.
Well,
I mean,
she is.
Devon and Lily just let him back in.
Yeah, but that woman, she is a barracuda. She presented that same contract to Kyle, and he signed on the dotted line.
Yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that. Keish, you got something on that?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't believe that he's even entertaining or seeming like he's going to entertain whatever offer she has for him when he just got back in good with his family, or is like on the verge of getting back in good with his family. I feel like that's what he should be focusing on, and it shouldn't matter whatever offer Audra has, unless he just really doesn't care about mending that relationship with him.
Girl, and then she was like, I know you. I know exactly who you are. You don't want to get revenge against the Newmans. She's trying to incite him and stuff. It was like, Nate, you need to stay far away from that girl.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get back on track with your life and your family and all of this, stay away from Audra. They still have a sore spot when it comes to Audra, because before Nate was the mole, Audra was the mole.
Right.
Yep, that is true. Good for Audra. She is just in every storyline scene she's mentioned. She's talked about through almost every episode, it seems like. My only thing is with Nate, I really do hope that this doesn't mess up the direction they're going with him. I feel like they're trying to turn his character around, like we've been screaming for the longest.
Yeah.
But it could be a possibility that he's going to use her and try to prove his loyalty by throwing her under the bus. It could very well be that. But I really hope this doesn't mess him up. But good for Audra. She in every scene, every storyline. All we can do is talk about this girl.
I know, right? All right, let's shift gears and let's take a jet out to Oregon.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to. And see, and now here's where we're split. Where I know me and Keisha on opposing sides with this one, and she didn't want Adam anywhere near this storyline at all.
Really?
Me, myself, I wanted Adam to be the hero. And we got none of that. Listen, that was the biggest conversation for the last 3 weeks on Twitter, on the other social media platforms, in the comment sections, Facebook. Adam is going to be the hero. I know, they're building it up. Adam is going to... Other content creators were talking about it as well. And somebody messaged me about a week and a half ago before this whole Oregon thing, and they told me, listen, Adam is not a part of the storyline at all. And that's why I made that video about a week and a half or so ago, that there's rumors that he's not going to even be involved. And sure enough, Keisha got her wish.
I'm sorry, Keisha. I have to disagree with that. What was the whole point of Victor trying to test his kids, mainly Adam, to prove himself? Here was an opportunity, and Adam was the main one who was like, hey, my family's missing. The building's empty. We need to see what's going on. He approached Nate, and then all of a sudden, Audra, Nate, and Billy had these scenes focusing on the Newmans for what? Those scenes could have went to Adam.
Thank
Adam
you.
trying to look to find people for to help them out, call dispatch or whoever. It should have never been Nate, Audra, and Billy. I'm sorry, that was waste scenes to
Since
me.
I mean, I understand, it's pretty fresh between Victoria and Nate. And okay, Billy is the baby mama, but we haven't seen any scenes with Victoria and Billy about them kids in a while.
Exactly. That was so random. And then Audra doesn't give a damn at all, except for the fact that she the main one at Newman working. So, but the three of them had no, and I hate to say this, they had no purpose, even concerned about the Newmans when Adam was the main one who brought it up that they were gone. We should have seen scenes where he was out looking for his family and saving the day and actually being to prove that, hey, he finally gets his redemption finally. That's what I was waiting on.
All right, now Keisha, I know you got a lot to say about that on the opposing side.
I don't have a lot to say about it. What I was telling her, what I was talking about earlier this week was how many times have they given Adam these situations where he is the hero, and what does his family do? They go right back to hating him. They give him maybe Nick and Victor, but Nikki has never given him any slack. Victoria gave him maybe an ounce of slack when he helped out with the whole Ashley and Locke thing when they were getting married. But he still ends up being the punching bag. So I was like, no, let Adam stay where he is, mind his own business while they off in Oregon getting tortured. That's what they deserve.
Listen, I'm telling you, that is funny. When it comes to that storyline and the one about Eric, she have her feelings about
There has not been one time that Adam has been allowed to have redemption when he's done something good.
Yeah.
That's true. I feel you on that, but I feel a lot of characters have been given redemptions. Even Phyllis, we've rarely talked about Phyllis over the past few weeks, just here and there. But she had her redemption after faking her unaliving, and it's just the fact that we had this whole Newman storyline build up where he found the mole and quote unquote it's Nate, making Adam look like the good guy. But it's still not going well with his siblings or his stepmother. Here was an opportunity for him to save the day. And as much as we can say, like, he's been given opportunities, a lot of characters have. But in this case, he's really trying to prove himself. There was an opportunity for him to be able to prove himself, especially since he was the main one who was concerned at first that his whole family was gone. Mm-hmm. And it was odd for him. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why he had to go to that dinner date with Sally. We didn't even see that scene either.
Right.
I don't disagree with you guys. I think that would have been a good way to start a redemption for him. But we know the show ain't going to let it happen. So even if he had done that, next week Nikki would have been back to being crappy to him.
Now, I think I had this conversation in the group chat, and I think it might have been with Jay, or what was it, day before yesterday or something like that, that the only way they could be nice to Adam after all of this is they get a new perspective on life itself. Like, dang, we always were blaming Adam for torturing us. There are other people that torture us worse. However, speaking of redemption story, Claire's about to get one.
Mm-hmm. See,
they're going to come home and they're going to find a way to try to connect Adam to this.
Girl, somebody said, I've heard other people that say that, Keish.
Nikki probably already there now, trying to figure out how Adam had something to do with it.
Yeah, you probably were working with Claire all along.
That would irk my nerves. I'd be so upset because Claire put a whole IV of liquor in their mama's arms, but about to get a whole redemption over Adam.
Mm.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And here's the other thing. We talked about this as well earlier this week. Why are you bringing on another kid for Victoria? You already got the kid out there that she got with JT. Then she got the two kids, Billy and Katie. We hardly ever see them. Now you finna give her a grown daughter?
Right. I was like, how old is this girl? Because she was like
Girl, that
drinking and
storyline
partying.
happened in 1993. So she should be close to 30.
Because she say that I've been waiting this for 20 years or something like that. I'm like, how old is this girl? Because I would assume like Reed's got to be in his 20s. Um, but so Victoria's got to be well in her 50s now to have this grown daughter like this. But uh, why they brought a whole grown child? I don't know. We need more Newmans, I guess.
Man, I would have rather for
Mhm.
her to be a long lost sister of Adam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe Hope had another man that she might have slept with or something and gave the baby up for adoption, and she come to town looking for her brother or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They could have gave Adam another sister or something.
They could have gave him, you know, more of a storyline arc into his past. They could have gave him anything. I I even would have been okay if she was related to Sally, even, because we don't. She doesn't have family there in Genoa City anyway. I want to see more of that. It could have been a lot of other things. Victoria did not need a whole other kid for her to ignore.
Girl, let me see. There's some questions about how old this girl is. So when she was born, she was named Eve Nicole Howard. So Eve Nicole Howard. And let's see, YNR. Let's see if it can tell me a date. Um, hmm.
And what is with these grown people having these random kids out in the world, and you guys are rich and you're not keeping tabs on this? I'm confused.
Mm-mm.
I had a bone to pick with her this whole Victoria this week about this, and with Bill that last week about this. Like, what are you doing? Y'all are rich, rich. This makes no sense.
Girl, that whole storyline. Okay, so now that we didn't get past the whole thing with Adam not being a part of this storyline, this whole thing with her being upstairs, them drinking the poisonous water bottles. I mean, I think I took pleasure out of seeing them struggle because they always think they're better than everybody. I don't want anybody to be poisoned, but just to see them a little weakened at this point, it's like y'all ain't big and bad as y'all think y'all are.
I was in freaking tears watching Nick stumble around that house, banging on the windows when he was at that door. I think what was he trying to like push the door down or something?
He's like,
I was
help,
cracking up.
help.
It was so funny.
This is all like in slow motion. These are some of the most powerful people, but so gullible. You just drinking random people's water. You didn't suspect something was going on to begin with. I'll never understand that. But this is a slow motion horror movie, and and then I forget what that lady's name is.
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah. She's just relaxed, is calm, and she's like, y'all are not going to do anything. Yeah, just save your breath, save your energy. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
loved it.
I loved it. Loved every
Girl,
bit of
she
it.
was like, I'm just gonna enjoy watching you die.
I'm like, how can we keep Aunt Jordan?
Oh man,
Eh, eh,
Colleen Zink is an awesome villain. Awesome.
Yeah.
they desperately needed her. Oh my goodness. This was she, because I remember her from the other show she did. I was so happy to see her on the screen. They need to keep
Hmm.
her. Writers, please keep her with some sort of storyline. If she's just continues to torture the Newmans all of 2024, please keep her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that whole thing, I mean, like you said, the most powerful people was so stupid. Well, Nikki shouldn't have been out there by herself with them anyway. You don't know who this woman is. Where's your bodyguards? You're a billionaire's wife.
Thank you.
And you going, and remember, this house is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around there. So you're going to go out there by yourself just because somebody auntie is a fan.
Right.
I'm sorry that I understand that's what happened. It's just so stupid. It's dumb as hell.
That shows you how big her ego is because I mean, seriously, I'm not saying she should be not like, oh, I don't want to meet the little people, but you got to protect yourself, and you don't know where you're going. If I'm in the car with Claire and there's nothing around, not a house, a store in sight, and we going deep into the woods, I'm be like, let's go back to the plane. I ain't going with you.
And I'm like, there's nobody who monitors your flight details, your phone records. There's no one who keeps like a tab on you. Nothing. But y'all are just gullible enough to just drink this woman's water. You don't know what could be possibly in it, but she's a crazed fan. Like, I was so happy to kind of see them miserable. I was a little irritated that Claire did give them the antidote. I was like, girl, you could stretch it out just a little bit more.
Girl, let's stretch it out a little bit more. They'd be in the morgue. What you talking about?
And you know what? It could have worked in her. It could have worked in Claire's favor. I honestly thought this storyline was going to turn out to where they were either poisoned or they were all captured, and then she's revealed as a Newman who was going to be taking over Newman Enterprises or something. I don't know, something to that effect. And then she would be battling back and forth with Adam. I don't know, something other than this.
J Money said, even with all of that, tell me why they still made Victor look like he was barely affected by the poison. Nick was crawling and
Yeah.
stumbling, and Victor was just slumped in a chair like he always is.
It had the strength to knock that knife out of Aunt Jordan's hand.
Oh my! I'm so glad you brought that up. I was so pissed off. He knocked it out her hand and left it on the ground. Why are you leaving the weapon? You left the weapon on the ground.
Nikki
Why?
standing up there looking like, where am I? What am I? Who am I? I mean, she was lost in the sauce. That I mean, I've never heard of alcohol, and correct me if I'm wrong, but alcohol being put directly into the bloodstream.
That's. I'm surprised was hanging on the way she was, because that's the last thing you want to do is have that hit your bloodstream. And if she's been there for days and having that drip in her system, she hasn't had a chance to detox, nothing like that. I'm surprised she was moving around by the time the Newmans got there.
I'm surprised that alcohol and all that didn't affect her MS.
Right.
But I mean, that whole thing was so crazy. I was just disappointed that Claire ended up being the savior by passing out the antidotes and all of that, because she realized that Jordan switched her out of the hospital. How you gonna carry on a lie that long saying that they abandoned you, they didn't want you, and then you dropped the dime that, oh, I stole you from the hospital, by the way.
And you know what's funny? She was around all these Newmans Claire could have got some form of DNA and got a DNA test done.
Oh, well, they probably gonna get one next week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
And her free redemption story, and she ain't been here but 2 months.
But Adam can't get nothing yet. But it's gonna be his fault. It's gonna be his fault.
Sure
Yeah,
will.
it sure will. You are absolutely correct about that one. And it's like, oh, that was a missed opportunity to me. And I know, I can agree. Keisha is like, I'm tired of that man trying to help them Newmans out, and he get nothing in return. So I see her point of view as well. But it's like at some point, I mean, right before they left to go to Oregon, they were talking trash in front of Adam's face. Adam was like, "You do see me sitting here." When
Exactly.
I'm just sick of it. Chloe does it, Nikki does it, his siblings does it. It's like, can't y'all write something else for a change?
And his only friend really is Sally at this point. And that's also unfortunate too. He can't even win in his love life because the girl crazy as hell. But I guess he has his sanity. He was in somewhat good graces with his dad, so that's something for him, I guess.
I
But
guess, girl.
as much as everyone hates Adam, I don't see why the writers just don't turn him to a villain all the way. Just
Mm-hmm.
have him say, forget his family, forget everyone. You guys all hate me. Just turn into a full-on villain mode and team up with Tucker, because that would have been a fun thing to watch.
But you know what? They got him simping. And I know simping usually applied to romantic relationships, but he's simping after his family. He's trying to
Exactly.
get in their good graces, doing anything possible. They just talk trash, throw trash in his face. He didn't gave up kidneys, sacrificed his freedom, and he's still simping after the approval of his family.
Yeah, and but at the same time, I can identify with that. It's you want to have that connection with your family. He doesn't have his mom, and I believe, yeah, Connor is a whole different state, and then Victor is raising his other kid, so he's lonely. He wants to feel some sense of closeness to family, and maybe Adam probably grew up a little bit.
You know what? I
Um,
get that, Bree, but the problem is that you gotta have that's some self-respect. They can't be talking trash in front of you like that.
right.
They talk trash in his face all the time, and he just be like, I know. Well, it's like, dude, you better give him a comeback to something. Just like that one comeback he did at that table at GCAC before Nick threw him under the bus about bringing that doctor in there. And he told him, dude, the stuff I did for you, I'm missing a whole organ. Say something. Don't let these fools talk to you like that.
Right.
That was a great scene. I was so happy about
I
that.
was happy about that when I was up in here clapping when he said that. But then he only do that once every blue moon. All of the other times he let them talk trash to him. That's crazy.
I agree. And Sally included, even though she was going to his house, bringing him meals, folding his clothes and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wait a minute. Jay Money said, hey y'all, don't forget Adam even delivered one of Victoria's kids. And she still treats him like crap. Do y'all remember that?
Which kid?
Which kid, Jay?
Because I'm trying to really, my wheels are spinning with that. Oh, this might be Katie. It would have to be, right? Because I remember it was Billy, Victoria, and Stitch about for one of the kids.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying
So
to wait and see if Jay put a comment in there. Jay, which child was delivered by Adam? I
I
mean,
almost want to say it's Billy's kid or the Billy's son,
you talking about Johnny?
Johnny. I think so.
Okay, well, I
Ah,
guess he'll drop it in the comment section.
But even still, she's still ungrateful, just pitiful.
Yeah, she is. I mean, go ahead,
The whole
Keish.
family.
What you finna say, Keish?
I was agreeing with you guys.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just, it's one thing that he's trying to get the affection. He has no other siblings, and his mom is gone. But that don't mean they gotta be disrespectful all the time. Like, dude, don't talk to me like that. What you say? I know you ain't say that to me. You know that type of thing. Oh, Jay Money said he is Katie.
That might be Katie.
Okay.
I don't know if Katie's older than Johnny, but that makes sense. I can see that. But
Mm.
still, she should be grateful her
Mm-hmm.
brother was able to do that. Same way Nick should be grateful his kid has an organ.
Okay, let me answer this question. Jenna says, so now that Victoria has her long lost daughter, does this mean that Cole and Claire are going to be around new regulars for the show? I mean, they're all going to forgive Claire. So according to Josh Griffith, Jenna, yeah, they're going to stick around for a while, including Cole. Yep.
Well, yay.
Yeah, I don't really find any excitement in that.
There wasn't.
I mean, so my thing is, what's going to be the storyline for Cole? I mean, obviously, the storyline for Claire is getting redemption, and now she's another Newman that Victor is going to be like, oh, I got a new granddaughter. Now let me control her too.
Right.
Right. Like,
But
it's another. We don't need any more Newmans. There's other characters on the show who could have used family members. Sally was a big one. Sally, of all people. But I guess we'll see what will happen with Claire. I mean, she's going to be treated like a golden child because it's Victoria's children,
mm-hmm.
and it's. I guess Cole will probably be a new love interest for Victoria. Let's hope she doesn't mess this up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Are they going to try to rekindle some type of a romance between those two?
Probably.
Because so far he's unproblematic. We don't know where he's been or what happened to him. He's kind of get new and fresh to the canvas. So I can see them, putting them together and seeing where that goes.
Do y'all wish Jordan would stay around?
Yes, please make that permanent. I would
How
love.
though? She committed a lot of
Mm-hmm.
crimes. I mean, unless she get off of being mentally unstable, how could they keep that character around?
Sheila can pave the way. And Sheila has 30 lives. She can pave the way for Jordan, and she'll be just fine in Genoa City. Just those two, like, they are on the same level when it comes to, I can't really put, Jordan on the same level, but I just so that they need to keep her on. If they need a real type of villain, not to say Tucker's not a villain, he's just more of a businessy type of villain.
Mm-hmm.
With Jordan, this is like psycho, crazy, deranged. This is what we get from Sheila. They need that on YNR.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Especially since Sheila can't be back and forth between both shows like we've been wanting to.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Did we cover everything?
Did we talk about? Did you guys already talk about Abby being a brat?
We kind of touched on it a little bit, but we can touch on it before we move on to Bowl. Yeah, her true color. I like Abby is back, the real Abby. This, go ahead.
It's just so selfish to me how this is the second time that family has wanted to use Devon to figure out what Tucker is up to. And it's like, do you guys have no sense of, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but to ask somebody who already has a rocky relationship with his father, to ask that person to basically manipulate his dad that he's got that rocky relationship with, or trying to get information out of him for you, that's totally selfish. And I can't believe that Ashley came to him with that request. And I don't know why I'm saying I can't believe it. They're selfish. That's what they do. But then Abby, instead of backing her man, is backing her family and feeling like this is something that Devon should do, to the point where she says, put me on your board. Put me on the Chancellor's Winter board. That way, Tucker knows that I'm not somebody that he can play with or that he can mess with. And I'm like, what?
That's that entitlement. I mean, she was telling him, why can't you do this? And Devon has said 2-3 times, I don't want to do this. Plus, he wouldn't believe me anyway. And she still was pushing so much so she got a whole attitude with that man.
Yeah.
I'm like, Devon, that should tell you that girl don't respect you.
Nope, not at all. But that was his. They had a whole friendship. They tested bounds, and now her true colors are showing. Now, I will say I'm proud of Devon for standing up for himself, because oftentimes they like to use him, and he likes to be used. Because there's been plenty of occasions where he could have put his foot down, but he goes along to get along. And that's pretty part of Devon's MO, go along to get along. But I was really it kind of tickled me that he said he don't want to be fake or kind of pretend to be a different person.
Yeah.
That was really funny to me, because he's always been a side dude to Hillary when she was married to Neil, or he's always been on the side to Neil's women so he has no problem being fake or pretending and lying. But he's evolved, he's grew up a little bit. But it took him some time to finally stand up for himself.
Now, I'm glad he did, and that, like Keisha said, that whole thing was, you can put me on your board. And he was like, how am I supposed to do that? You can do it. I'm like, who are you talking to?
Right.
It's like, girl, if you don't chill out, how you just gonna tell that man what to do? You think Lily, he got to go through Lily and the rest of them, to just throw Abby on the board just because you said so? Nah, it don't work like that, sweetheart. How would you like for somebody to push their way into your restaurant business? I don't think
And then
so.
the way she tried to use, she's like, because if your dad succeeds in whatever he's trying to do, if he's trying to do something to change the Winters, it's going to affect you, and then that's going to affect Dominic.
Girl.
So now you're using the kid
exactly
to try to get what you want.
And I'm like, affect how? You're rich. You got $500 million over there. He's a whole billionaire. Your son is okay. He's not hurting for anything. And plus, this is the most you've ever cared to talk about Chancellor Winters to begin with.
Girl,
this is the most you've ever talked about it.
Exactly.
She don't care about Chancellor Winters. She cares about Jabot. She just threw Chancellor Winters in there to get Devon's attention.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. If I was Devon, I'd be looking at that as a red flag. Because, I mean, that she's entitled. She's always had that bratty entitlement. Now, she put it on the back burner because she was in the honeymoon phase after that cheating thing with her and Devon. But now, they done settled in and got real comfortable. Yeah, her true self is now showing. She's dropping that mask. So, all right.
Devon already knew that, though.
Girl, he walked right into that.
Free willing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She was willing to cheat on Chance with you. So there you go. Karma.
That was a crazy woman. I don't know why she did that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She had Chance all to herself. But oh well.
Yep. And what the crazy thing is, he was so caught up in being a police officer, now he walked away from the whole job. Wait a minute, and then he turned around and he just got the chief of police position about 2 weeks ago?
So I'm like, who's going to protect at Genoa City?
Girl, I
They
guess
had one cop.
they're going to bring a new police officer. Girl, I don't know. Paul is gone. He's now in the business world. He's leaving. And I'm like, hey, you don't know nothing about running a company. Nothing. I mean, even, I don't know. The whole thing with Nate is still up in the air, because even when he was needed to be a doctor, his doctor senses turned back on. I'm like, put Nate back to where he was, a doctor. He's good in that position on the show.
I agree with that. That's why I'm hoping they keep him on the right path, and while he's working things out with his family, and he can eventually go back to being a doctor.
I like him in that character, because the moment he thought Victor was sick, he went into doctor mode. And it was natural for him, not this whole ruthless businessman type stuff.
I don't really mind that they took him this direction, only because it's giving him a storyline.
That is yeah, that's true, because we ain't seen Elena in a while. Doctors only usually get storylines when somebody gets sick or injured, because we only seen Elena when Chance was in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I can understand where you come. That gives them, something to do. Unless this is General Hospital, then yeah, they're all in the hospital. So I don't even watch General Hospital. No shots to GH. I just couldn't get into it.
Me either. I hear a lot of everyone loves General Hospital. All my children. This has never been my shows. I've always loved the CBS shows. Even when As the World Turned and Guiding Light came on, I don't know. I just gravitated to those shows.
Those are my top two favorites on CBS. I was hurt when they got canceled.
Oh, quick question, and we can talk about it in the group chat later. Anybody, y'all watch Sisters this week?
I don't watch that show.
Okay.
I've heard about it, though.
I heard about it. I haven't had a chance to watch that.
Oh, okay. Well, I ain't gonna go there then. Some crazy stuff happened. Anyway. All right. Y'all ready to switch over to Bold, I guess?
Yeah.
All right.
If we must.
Okay, so before we do that, it's over 120 people in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. I know you've seen my mods putting the message out there. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm still going to do the because we did officially hit 10K over here. Yay! Thank you guys.
Yay!
So I'm still going to do that whole celebration thing. I don't know if I'm going to do it as a New Year's Eve type thing. Something, because I want to make it fun. So stay tuned for the details on that. So I haven't forgotten. And I know people probably been looking at it like, dang, she's at 10.1K. What's going on? Nope, I haven't forgot. I want to make sure that, the festivities are fun and, giving away, certain little prizes and things. So, yep. And I'm going to work together with you guys to make that happen. Bree and Jay, and I know Keisha popped off. So,
we'll make it work. We'll make it happen. But that's awesome. Congrats on the 10K.
Yay. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, 10K. Okay. All right. And then, again, TikTok, Instagram, and X on those platforms as well. You okay, Keish?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Okay, let's move on to Bold. The whole story this week was about Zendaya. I got a couple of things I didn't like what happened today. And we're going to talk about it. But let me do the summary. And then we'll go ahead and dissect this. So hold on one second. All right. So for the week of the 27th through the 1st, Hope gives Deacon an ultimatum. Either her or Sheila and Ridge ask Eric to work together one more time. Heartbroken, Steffi wants to fix Eric, and since symptoms are vague, Finn would have to look into Eric's chart to have an opinion. When Eric nearly collapses, Donna calls Dr. Kobe. After having a meltdown, Eric makes a declaration that surprises the family. And then Donna is horrified when Eric collapses and falls unconscious. All right. I don't even know where to begin with this. Because it's all 1 week about everybody being emotionally upset, trying to keep this secret from everybody, just trying to keep up a facade for Eric. But I guess we can start talking about Hope and Deacon.
Yeah, we can talk about that. That was so cute that they both, going back and forth about their lovers. And the thing is, it was really funny to me how Deacon is saying, like, Thomas is this and Thomas is that. So I'm like, you have a whole serial killer. You have a whole serial killer in your bed that you put a ring on it. You can't even compare the two.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Just crazy. They just are like, well, look at your dude. Well, look at your girl. Well, I mean, Thomas is a saint compared to Sheila Carter.
That is facts, because Thomas hasn't taken anybody's life. And the thing is, I saw this stuff like online about people really were trying to compare Thomas and Sheila together. That was so ridiculous, because Thomas did not take Beth. There was 2 other people who were involved for months prior to Thomas even finding out and then keeping that secret.
And both were forgiven, Bree.
And both were forgiven. Actually, no, all 3 were forgiven, because it was, it was 3 people that were forgiven, because there's people that knew about it. But it's just the fact that you cannot compare Thomas and Sheila together. Sheila has bodies. She's a different body count. So
you're so silly.
and she went to jail for it. So there's Thomas hasn't been to jail for anything. So you can't even compare the two. Yeah, he is a saint in compared to her.
Yeah.
What you got, Bree?
30 years. Sheila's been doing this for 30 years.
On 2 shows.
Violence.
Yeah.
And has not one time has she seeked any type of professional help.
Mm-mm.
Like, we see Thomas getting professional help for the issues that he's had.
Exactly.
And Deacon standing there talking about, I have these instincts that she's changed, and I can make sure that she doesn't hurt anybody, and I believe her when she says it. But it's like, what has she actually done to really truly work on herself, Deacon?
Except screw you to death.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we can kind of hope that he does see some sort of change, but at least with Thomas, we were able to see him go to a therapy session or 2. He's worked things out with his family, took accountability. We actually seen him make a change, and he actually has the ability to have his son in his life. So I feel that's a win in comparison to a person who's been back and forth to jail a bunch of times for harming other people, including Thomas, when he was a baby.
And even if we hadn't seen Thomas on screen have a therapy session, they've talked about it. Like, we know that he's doing that. We haven't heard Sheila nor Deacon say anything about her seeking professional help.
Nope. You're right about that.
For him to even fix his lips to say, I'm worried about you because you're dating Thomas now. When, like you said, Bree, you dating a whole serial killer. It just doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. It's not even in the same league.
What'd you say?
It's not even in the same league.
Not at all. It's not even close.
Mm-mm.
And even
they should be bonding over this, if anything, not him trying to chastise her.
Right. And even with, like, Liam was, like, going back and forth to force a creation about Thomas, Thomas was still able to raise his son. Like if he was, it wasn't to the point where they had to call the police, put a restraining order on him. He had to stay so far away from forced separations. It wasn't deep. It wasn't like that.
Well, Brooke tried, but
She tried. She tried and failed. But it's a different level. I was really surprised to see the stuff online and how they really compared him to Sheila. It makes no sense.
Wait a minute. So you saw some stuff online about the fans comparing him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
I've seen it all over Twitter. With it's mainly people that are fans of Lope.
Oh, Liam and Hope
trying to make Thomas out to be just as bad as Sheila.
I saw a comment say it's even Steven to me. Like, how? And the thing is, and you can go on like some of the comments and look at like the breakdown, and I'm like, they really, some people are still hoping Liam are going to be together. At this point, even after she's been screwing Thomas, there's
people that think that Hope is going through some type of mental distress. Why she's involved
and that Thomas is still pulling the strings. It was something else.
That whole thing about Hope have going through some type of DID or dissociative disorder and all that conversation has been happening since July.
Yeah.
And they were hoping for that because I know that Brooke was kind of hinting about you're not yourself and what's going on. And when she comes to who she really is, she'll kick him to the curb and all that. So a lot of people start speculating that, something was going on in her head about something. Something was, you know what I mean? So I don't know. My thing is there's nothing in comparison. Thomas kept a secret.
Right.
He didn't have Beth locked up. He didn't have Beth locked up in a closet somewhere or any of that.
Or collect a check.
What'd you say?
Or collect a check.
I mean, he kept a secret.
Yeah.
And technically that was to keep his sister happy because his sister had that baby. And he didn't want to break his sister's heart knowing that she had to give up that kid.
And that's where I wish the show would have stuck to that instead of him trying to take advantage of it.
Right.
That's where I feel like they, I don't know. I guess I don't know if I want to say they messed up, but have they done it from the angle of him like struggling behind the scenes, knowing that he knew this information that he was keeping from Hope, but also, not wanting to upset his sister.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that's what they would have shown instead of him, telling Hope, your baby's dead. She's not coming back. Basically, you just need to be with me. I hate that they did that. Because
that was a very dark turn, and because the years we've been watching the show, I've never known Thomas to be that type of person.
He wasn't.
He was just a playboy. He always competed with Rick when it came to a woman or with whoever. It was always about love. I want to say love for him, but it was never anything dark and devious like that.
No.
So when they brought Matt Atkinson on, I wonder if this was like a Brad Bell choice because of the different energy that Matt Atkinson brings to Thomas's character to go that direction. Or because I don't understand why, because it irks me because Thomas has always been a fairly decent character. I feel like he's on the same level as Rick as far as the things that they've done to each other's families and their parents and everything. So
I agree with you. Yeah, I have always hated that they did that character change for what was it, a span of like maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, and I think
2019 to 2020.
Yeah, because the thing is, remember I was telling you guys that both Matt Atkinson and Mark was interviewing for the same position, and they decided because Mark was going to play Thomas, But they
Oh, wow, I didn't
felt
know
that
that.
they were going to, right, but they ended up moving him over to Young and the Restless to play Adam coming back and let Matt Atkinson get the role of Thomas in 2019. But he brought over a villainous energy, which was not the Thomases of the past.
Yeah. But I feel like they have all, like, there have been little things that they have done with the other two Thomases that I also hated. Because I feel like the showrunners, the producers, Brad Bell, whoever, I feel like they just have some type of disdain for Taylor and her kids. Because back when Adam Gregory was playing the role and they did that whole little stint with him and Brooke being on that island, they took those berries and he went through a period of time where he had a little crush on Brooke. Because remember when he had his taboo line,
Mm-hmm.
he had that little crush on Brooke, and I always remember the scene where they're on the Forester jet and Brooke is asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and and Thomas kisses her while she's asleep. I'm like, why would y'all do that? Like, what is the point? Why are y'all trying to make this man out to be a creep? Now, it wasn't overt like Matt Atkinson's Thomas was. He was still pretty much a sweet character. And then when Pearson took over the role, they had the one incident with Caroline where it was questionable of whether or not he took advantage of her when she was drugged up and he didn't know it. And it's like, why did you guys have to do it this way?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they've always tried to do these little things here and there to make Thomas come off as a creep. Because I just feel like the show wants to humiliate Taylor and Taylor's kids because they haven't always treated Steffi the best either. It hasn't been until like the last few years when Finn came on the show that they've, kind of left her alone. But I feel like they've always kind of tortured her on the side of her love life in the way that her dad used to treat her back in the day when it was still Ron Moss playing Ridge and the favoritism that he would show towards Hope.
Yeah, that was the Ridge I did not like. But I feel Steffi, when it came to her life decision, she gave as good as she got, because there has been many opportunities where she was able to move on. She enjoyed being petty. She enjoyed the attention that Liam was giving her, and Liam knew he could have her in his back pocket, and she chose to be that for him, to the point where she had the picture of them on that wall, until she decided to give Finn a chance. She was perfectly fine doing all that for Liam. Whereas with this thing with Thomas, it was this isolated incident with Beth that completely, I feel, changed the character. Because I can think of like a few other instances here and there, where he like attacked Rick and stuff like that. But I think that was like after Phoebe's unaliving. But it's just, there was like isolated incidents, and that completely changed his character. Steffi is who she is. She is the original young 304 on the show. She was. And she's just married and reformed. But I don't want to say that she wasn't out there, have no qualms sleeping with somebody's husband, or, trying to get sealed companies from people and manipulate and maneuver stuff. So she gave as good as she got.
No, I'm not saying her character has changed. I'm talking about the general overall treatment of the characters of
I
Thomas
agree.
and Steffi.
Yeah,
of the way that they have written them. I feel like they have given their characters the crap end of the stick because they just want them to look bad. So I'm not talking about the characters' choices and what they've done. Yeah, she totally like put herself in that position to be in Liam's back pocket all the time, chasing him around. And to me, I've always felt like that's made her look pathetic.
Yep.
Because it always felt like, in my opinion, it always felt like she was the alternate choice to Hope. She was never put first. And the other thing that they didn't do for her, like they did for Hope, Hope has had 2 to 3 avenues of love interest in her run on this show. I'm talking about from OG Hope to now. Steffi has never had that. They tried it with Bill, but it was like that one little incident of her getting the company back back in the day, and she didn't sleep with Bill at that point. She just basically flirted with him until she got what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put her with Wyatt, and as much as I wanted her to stay with Wyatt because I didn't want Liam to get what he wanted. To me, the chemistry just it wasn't there. And once they broke up, it was like they just cut everything off between Wyatt and Steffi. There
Yeah.
was no real like continuation of a back and forth or them being friends or anything like that. So they have literally saddled Steffi with only Liam pretty much the entire run of her being on this show until Finn showed up. Whereas with Hope, she I feel like she's had a couple of different avenues of good love stories. And now she's got this
Uh-oh.
great build up of a love story that she's got with Thomas now that's been going on for 10 years.
Yeah.
And Steffi, if she goes back to the one that has the 10-year history, then she looks stupid because of what she's already been through with this man. Excuse me.
Yeah.
When she's got who she has now, who is completely loyal to her. So I don't know. I just feel like they've shown favoritism in the way they've written these two families, or the Thomas and Steffi compared to Hope and RJ.
Yeah, the other question is, where's Taylor anyway? I mean, this is December. I know her contract is up this month. We ain't heard nothing. And the last time Taylor was on screen, when she was in the office with Ridge and Brooks, she was like, I don't know where I'm going to go from here. Okay,
Right.
well, y'all need to let us know where she's going to be. Hopefully over here. Now, let me ask y'all a question about this whole Eric story. What do you think about them trying to keep up this facade?
It's so unnecessary at this point. Almost everybody knows except for Zende. Almost everyone knows except for Zende. And I don't understand why people are being selective on who has the right to know about Eric's health. And I have love Carter down. Please understand. He didn't need to know before Zende. And I think you said that too. Luna didn't need to know before Zende. Or better yet, before the rest of the family. I don't understand why there's still secrecy and it's still a life-threatening issue to where no one's taking action. You can respect him and give him dignity, but it's become ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this whole storyline, I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments that when we first started talking about Bowl in this show, people said it was a snooze fest, it was boring, because it was the same thing, rinse, wash, and repeat. Everybody is tiptoeing around Eric. You know, he's stubborn, he don't want to go to the doctor, but he's getting worse, but you're still up in the office. People worried about you. You like, no, I'm finna do a gala, or this big old party. And then he had the nerve to, first of all, hitting that comment you just said about Carter. Ridge talking about he's family, he should know too. I think you should know. Zendaya's family?
I threw a pillow at the TV. I was so mad at that. And RJ was telling his dad, look, we should let Zende know. And Rich put his foot down and said, look, we're going to respect my father's wishes, but you go and let Carter know.
Right, you let Carter know. And then the other thing that I did not like what Eric said to Donna, talking about when he was being all emotional and romantic with her before he collapsed on that floor, talking about how none of his marriages worked. You were with Stephanie to the day she passed. What are you talking about?
I hear that too.
And if a lot of those relationships you have issues with, is because you were sleeping around with everybody.
Right.
Yeah, he forgot that part.
You were
Now,
the demise of those situations. Don't sit up here and make it like, oh, my other relationships never worked, because you were the common denominator in them.
mm, uh, mm, I disagree with that. I can't really say that with him and Stephanie, because Stephanie has made some foul choices that got her the divorces that she got, like faking her heart attack and the stuff that happened to Brooke, um, and just a lot of other stuff over the years. So Eric had his reasons for leaving Stephanie. At the same time, he's done his work too. It was very disrespectful that he went through all of this with this woman, and he said that he hasn't had a meaningful relationship, where none of them were meaningful after all that back and forth with
But see,
that particular woman.
but you know what, Bree, and see, the thing is, even after all of that, he still got back with her. So even if
Yes.
she was doing all of that behavior that you were just speaking of, at the end of the day, she ended her life with him. He came back. They ended up staying married after that. All this shenanigans that's been happening over since 1987, when they started life together on this show. So, I mean, to just throw that out the window, you got kids with Brooke. You got kids with Stephanie.
Stephanie.
So I mean, you can't sit up there and act like I didn't have any meaningful relationships, man. If you don't get out of here with that.
His relationship with Donna isn't even believable. Like, it does nothing for me, and it feels forced. And this is the same Donna that isn't she the reason he lost the company at one point years ago when Steffi had to get it back for him
No,
from Bill?
no, it wasn't her. Bill was manipulating. I was watching the season. Yeah, Bill was manipulating the loan, and I believe they forgot the loan payment. Bill swooped in and basically took over the company, but it wasn't because of her though. Um, but Steffi had to get it back. But I felt like they had a meaningful relationship
No,
back in the day. Back in the day, I felt like they did. They were kind of cute together, even though she annoyed me. But I can see at least now that she really cares for this man. And plus, we never seen Donna with any other man. She always talked about Eric on the show.
I just never that relationship to me just never felt genuine.
You thought it was superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even like Eric when Quinn was in the picture, before the whole thing went left with Carter, and he couldn't get his mojo up. I honestly think they had a very good relationship when they first started putting Quinn with Eric.
I loved them together at first. I loved it. I loved the fact that they were sneaking around. It was so good. I feel it's always good in the beginning for him. But it's either infidelity or something on the other woman's part. I think when Eric cheated on Quinn this time, right? And then that's why he got, with Donna.
With Donna.
But I actually do feel he really loves Donna. He adopted her child, her grown child.
That was ridiculous.
And he's still a forester today. So he loves her to some degree. So he has three baby mamas.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's Marcus, right?
Yeah, Marcus.
But isn't
Marcus?
Isn't that Justin's kid?
Grown-ass man who already had adoptive parents. That was the dumbest storyline. The dumbest.
That's Justin and Donna's son, but Eric still adopted him.
That was
That
the
didn't make any
dumbest storyline.
sense.
It didn't make any sense at all.
He legally adopted. It was a whole at season 22. Look at it on YouTube. They made a huge deal about him adopting Marcus so he can have that connection with Donna because they knew they weren't going to have kids together. So Marcus came in the picture just like towards the end of season 22, and yeah, he adopted him.
That was a slap in the face to Justin.
A slap in the face to Justin, a slap in the face to his already adoptive parents.
Yes, yes. And that's
like, are you kidding me with this?
Right. I want to be close to Donna, so I'm going to legally adopt your son so we can feel like we got a family together. Whatever.
I remember being so annoyed when that storyline was happening. I just didn't understand it. It was just so stupid.
It was. That didn't make any sense to me. And then they still didn't end up together. Then eventually they circle back to each other now, but I don't know. I just did not enjoy this week at all. I just didn't.
Yeah. I'm just tired of seeing this whole storyline. To me, has basically been wrapped around Eric and the Logans.
Yeah, the other thing is that the ratings has been at its lowest according to what I hear with regards to Bold, and that's the hey. Yeah, I think writers, y'all need to pay attention to that because y'all been dragging this out.
Not only have they been dragging it out, but it wasn't even a well-constructed storyline. If this is John McCook's exit, they have failed him miserably at giving him a good exit. Because this is terrible.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, with
he better go somewhere after all of this crap.
Girl, listen.
He better.
This is just me speculating. This is not a spoiler or anything, but just looking at the direction that's coming up in the next few weeks with Finn looking into his stuff. Bridget will be back next week, and then the girl from Big Brother is going to be playing a doctor where they're all going to be collaborating together. Dr. Kobe don't know what's wrong with him, so that makes him look bad as a doctor when these other three doctors are going to be like, oh yeah, because up to this point, like Finn said, all this is vague. Nobody knows what's wrong with this man. Nobody. Kobe don't even know what's wrong with him.
And we have yet to see like a CT scan or like something showing that they were running labs or tests. All we're seeing is this man coughing up blood, and which okay, that's severe. Originally, when I saw that, I thought maybe he had like a pulmonary embolism. But
his hand is shaking, Bree.
Yeah, but I forgot about those tremors. My God, it's just all these doctors, and we still have no result. I don't understand. Like if Eric knew better, Eric should have called Lee. Lee would have no qualms, no problem getting out like a special wing for Eric and keeping that quiet for him. I think the other people would have told the family. Bridget would have said something. Finn would have said something. Lee would have gladly kept that quiet, and she had no problem using the CT, MRI, whatever that's needed, and see what's going on with Eric. But
yeah, him planning all these parties and want to do another collab and all this other stuff, and then he end up collapsing on the floor. It's like, come on.
Juwan? That's very interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I hope not. They better not.
What?
Talking about what if Dr. Kobe is poisoning him?
They better not do that.
They better not do that.
He was sick before Dr. Kobe, though. So, I guess unless he's saying maybe Dr. Kobe is making it worse on purpose.
But what would be the end game for him to do what? Why are you trying to take him out if that's the case? You know what I'm saying? Why are you poisoning this man? I don't know. My thing is, I think it's just poorly written. I'm sorry if
Mhm.
anybody is in Ninja Land watching. Um, it's slow. It's him being. I see a lot of extremely selfishness going. A lot of extreme
Selfish with a capital
selfishness going
S.
on, leaving Zende out of the mix. Everybody's tiptoeing around him. Can't nobody tell nobody nothing. At this point, Eric only thinks that Donna and Katie knows. He don't even know that Ridge and Steffi and Thomas and all them know about anything. And they
Yeah,
all
And all
got
they
a
can talk about is how he beat Ridge in this
girl.
fashion show
Mm-mm. If
in
y'all
his
were trying to
CEO
do this,
office.
if y'all was trying to do this for November sweeps, I'm gonna have to give you a D minus on this one. I'm sorry.
They getting the F.
Well, I guess both. I guess Y&R gets the same grade too when it came to the Claire storyline.
I enjoyed that storyline
I
much
give
better
him a
than this crap.
C plus on that one because I mean, as much as I wanted Adam over there, it was interesting to see those arrogant group of Newmans finally being brought to their knees to say, "Hey, y'all ain't as powerful as y'all think."
Y'all wanted to
Yeah.
see them suffer.
Well, Aunt Jordan was also entertaining. That was
That
like
oh yeah, good point, good
that
point.
was
My
like old
apologies.
school 1990s uh soap drama. That
Yes,
whole little incident that happened.
I'll give I'll give it a C plus, C plus, C plus.
And I
It did,
just to me, I feel like this storyline, in my opinion, it just makes Eric look bad because he's being selfish and he's being egotistical when it comes to the whole, I beat Ridge, I got my office back. I'm taking charge of my company, blah blah. I haven't heard one thing about what is the point of view of Steffi and what is her position now.
Well, here's
And
the
then
other thing, Keish, is that just say the three doctors help him get through it. Now, how y'all gonna keep that lie going? Because now somebody got to tell him you lost. He's healed now. Now, I'm hearing rumors that Zende might blow this out the water.
I hope he does. That's what I'm waiting for. I hope Zende goes in there and especially when he finds out that everybody around him knew that his grandfather was dying and nobody told him. I hope he goes in there and goes off on every single one of them. Well, really, it's just the Foresters that are responsible for it because Brooke and all them they don't own any responsibility in telling Zende anything about Eric. His family does though. So
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, Steffi, RJ, Ridge, they are all dead wrong right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad they got this man out the credits. It's so good to see Bad Boys in there. Same with you. I hope it comes out. I hope it comes out at this point because he might be the only part of this Eric storyline that might be worth watching. At this point, it's the only thing that's interesting. And that banter that Zende is having with RJ is very interesting because you really don't know what direction he could go in. He could take his designs and he could start his own doggone company. It's there's so much that could be done with Zende, and I'm glad they're at least going that direction writing wise for him because that's a great opportunity for fresh love interest, fresh everything. But
Yeah. I'll give
Well,
it to RJ though. He has been the only one so far that has said we need to tell Zende because he's pissed right
yeah,
now.
he has a
And
moral compass.
yeah, and Ridge is like, oh no, he shouldn't know. I shouldn't have even told my own kids. And I'm like, what?
man, please. Ridge can go. He need to go somewhere and take several seats. I mean, it's just like, dude. Yeah, that whole thing. Belinda gave the Bold an F minus.
I'm
Oh
with you, Belinda.
goodness, F
F
minus.
minus, girl. Listen, you know how on a score you can get an F. I mean, on a test, you can score an F and get 60, right? Well, F minus is when you got 20.
I haven't heard that since I was a kid. I remember my mom used to say, if you get an F minus, it's like you purposely try to F up.
I mean, what is an F as bad as it is? What when you get an F minus? Girl, that's extremely bad.
Yeah. And then, and Darby in the comments was right. Uh, None of Eric's other kids know yet.
Right.
We heard Rich say that he tried to call Kristen and she was unreachable, but that's the only one that I've heard him mention. I haven't heard Felicia's name. I haven't heard Thorne's name mentioned, or if they have been able to get in contact with him since last week or the week before, whenever he said it. But it's like, you cannot possibly think that keeping this from your siblings is okay, especially when all of the Logans know.
Right.
And this complete stranger, Luna, who's been here for 2 weeks, knows.
Right.
That's still irritating to me. And the thing is, they could have got a hold of Kristen through Zende. I'm pretty sure she'll make a call for her son.
Correct. Exactly. From who was that they say they talk all the time? When they was that last week? Was that Zende talking to Kristen, or was that Ridge talking to Kristen? Somebody.
I thought Zende said I talked. Zende said something about talking to his mom all the time, or something like that.
So she's been in contact with. He works over there. You mean tell me somebody can't say nothing to girl? Please, this is crazy. I'm just really over it. I am so over it. And you know, this whole just can we move on? Now, here's the other thing. We've been lied to this week because the spoilers from this past week come for this week of the 27th was part of the spoilers was the fact that Liam was supposed to be coming after Steffi this week. And that there was another spoiler about Thomas being putting a more of a positive light, where Liam was going to go into, being this villain and try to undermine Steffi, and all this was supposed to happen this week. All we got this week was Eric. I don't know what happened right there. So, because I put my spoilers out last week and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be great. Because, everybody pretty much had the same spoilers. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't I was reaching out of the sky with something. And then we got a whole week of this. So I was extremely disappointed.
Was Newman even on this week?
No.
Because I didn't think I see Land of O'Lakes this week. Okay.
I heard that.
We didn't even see Poppy this week either.
I heard that around the time that they were recording this, Liam or Scott Clifton was sick.
Oh, well.
Okay.
He can take. Well, we've been asking him to sit down. I'm glad he's sitting down.
That's you funny. Yeah, so I just hope next week, because from what I understand, Thorne and Bridget will be here next week. Okay, but y'all got to give us some other storylines. Come on, you can't spend a whole week on doom and gloom. To me, this whole week was doom and gloom and selfishness.
It just made it's not a good rollout as far as if he's supposed to be gone. It's a whole different rollout. I remember with Stephanie, they didn't Brooke like pass away on her. Stephanie passed away on her shoulder, on Brooke's shoulder.
Mm-hmm. That pissed me off too.
It was dramatic. You sound like Taylor over there now.
That's exactly why I was pissed off about it. Because these two women have hated each other for, 20 plus years at that point?
Yeah.
And suddenly they're BFFs. You completely cut out Taylor, who has actually been her best friend the entire run of her being on this show. And Brooke is going to be who she spends her last moments with. Like, that made no sense at all. I'm sorry. That was stupid.
Listen, if you ever want a candid review of anything, call Keish. She'll give it. She'll give it to you. How they say? With no chaser.
Straight up with no chaser.
Yeah, straight with no chaser. She'll give it to you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm just over it. I don't need no more of the bloody coughing, the tiptoeing. That we had a whole week
to get up out of here.
Yeah, I'm. If we need to get some sort of a break, so we can see more Zende, and I guess we can see Penelope and Lee talk it
I
out.
mean, there's that other storyline with Luna and Bill and Poppy. You know, I
It's
mean,
Penelope.
it's
Okay.
Okay, it's Penelope. I mean, we
Do
got
you not
that.
like her?
It's Penelope. I don't. I'm just not invested. I would
Really,
like to. I would like to get invested into Luna and Penelope and Lee's situation, but it's.
Bree, Bree,
Mm.
would you choose this? Look, watching Penelope over Eric on the floor.
I would like to see hop around Poppy versus Eric on the floor. I just prefer this. I need more than what they're giving, because the only issue the two sisters have is that Penelope was able to have a child, and Penelope was sleeping around on Lee's job, and Penelope is known for being a 304. That's all we know, and that's not anything for me to, I, I guess, get in. Get excited for him. Plus, Lee is mad for no reason. That's really annoying. I love Lee down, but just it's Penelope. That's
Well,
my
I mean, and
favorite
then the
part.
other thing is the last big episode that everybody was excited about was that whole scene with Thomas, Hope, and Liam when, Liam was over at the house and Hope was in her little lingerie waiting for Thomas. That episode went through the roof, and then the rest of the way has been this.
You know what I was waiting on? I wanted the day after. I wanted to see Thomas wake up in Hope's bed or on the couch. I wanted to see them get it in the house. I wanted to see Liam still sitting there at the door looking.
Oh shit!
I was really missing that part. But
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of salty we didn't get to see at least their date.
Right,
because
right.
they just went straight into it. We needed to see the day after. I need to see Thomas. It's a complete 360 where Thomas is waking up in Liam's wife's bed.
Girl, you
Well,
it
they ain't got no bed in that house. It would have been on the floor
have
or the
been on the
couch.
flow.
Yeah, the couch or something. Something
Hmm.
wherever Liam was at. I wanted Thomas to mark his territory everywhere. And they
And
missed
then
an opportunity.
yeah, and now they can get rid of that cabin.
Yeah, and Thomas has plenty of space. They can get off of Brooke's mama's cabin.
Yeah.
Hmm. I agree. Y'all got anything else for Bold?
They didn't
Mm.
give us much.
Nope.
No, nothing at all.
And the thing is, I love this show. It's just we're hoping for some interesting stuff coming along. That's all.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and move into our final segment, which is our flip the script and who's taking several seats. So, flip the script, if you're new here, is if there's a particular scene or storyline that you wish you could change, that's where you flip the script. And then who's taking a seat? Somebody that was doing too much, somebody got on your nerve, and they need to go and take several seats this week. So, for the young and the restless, what's your flip the script? Either one of you can go first.
For Y&R, when Devon was looking at Abby pouting and she started to kind of get an attitude, I wish that Devon was like, "Look, I'm a high value man. I have options."
Not a high value man.
Oh my gosh, girl, that is so funny. Mm. What you got, Keish?
My flip would have been. I think we could have had the Aunt Jordan Claire scenes last a little bit longer than what they did. They wrapped that up a lot faster than I expected. Not that I needed them to drag it out for weeks,
Mm.
but I wanted to see a little bit more Aunt Jordan torture them.
Okay. My flip the script would have been Adam pushing Sally back, say, "Wait, what are you doing? What you trying to kiss me or something? I thought I can't even walk you to your room. I barely could walk you to the door. But you want to give me a kiss, plus you told me you don't know what you want and you confused. No, 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 no. Go and think about it, and then you let me know when you're ready. But he'd be like, nah, let's not do this. So that would have been my flip. What y'all got for bold?
Taylor was on this week. The flip would be she would be on this week to kind of break up some of the storylines. Mm-hmm. That'd be my only flip. I really can't think of anything.
You know what? I agree with you on that because Steffi was struggling this week. Why not have her mama up there with her?
Right.
A whole therapist.
Both of her kids. Thomas was struggling too.
I don't understand the writing. That she needed to be there, especially for that news.
Right. At least if she wasn't going to talk to anybody, she would talk to her kids.
She needed to know before Carter did.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she'd known Eric for a long, long time.
And slept with them.
Yeah, and I mean, she was Stephanie's best friend, like you just said, Keish. They've been in a relationship together, her and Eric. They got history. And the fact that these are her kids' grandfather, you know, he is her kids' grandfather. She should have been there this week, at least for one day, to support her daughter and her son. So I agree with you on that one. What's your flip, Keish?
Mine would have just been this entire storyline in general, that Eric just would have been upfront with his family and honest about what was going on. Because at least with Stephanie, when she was dying, everybody knew. So she was able to have those moments with her family. Have her, her scenes with Steffi. She had a couple scenes with Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like special moments. And as of right now, we're not getting that with Eric. We're just watching him still be egotistical and bragging about beating Ridge in this fashion challenge, and he's only sharing these heartfelt moments with Donna and Katie and RJ. So Thomas isn't getting any of that. Steffi isn't getting any of that, and Zende isn't getting any of it.
You're right about that.
That would be my flip.
My flip is that y'all should have stuck with the spoilers that y'all gave us last week.
Yep.
That's my flip. I mean, if y'all want to throw a day or two in there of Eric, okay, fine. But, with Liam trying to undermine Steffi's marriage and Thomas being in a more positive light this week because, he's that stand-up guy in this relationship. My flip is to bring the spoilers that you originally gave us for this week. Now, there you go. All right, so who's taking some seats? Who you got taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Well, Abby and her mama can take a seat for trying to convince Devon to manipulate his dad.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Sally can take a seat for still being confused about Adam.
Gotcha. What you got,
Can I also give... Sorry. Can I give Aunt Jordan a nice little cushy throne, though, because she entertained me this week?
Okay. She get the star of the week throne, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you got, Bree?
I'll probably put Audra in the seat. And she's my star of this MVP of the year, but she got way too many men circling around her. I know she's leveraging, but they all sword fighting, and it's
You silly. Oh my God. I guess my seats is Kyle. Kyle is a big old idiot. And Diane, too, for sending your son into the lion's den and trying to get him to keep that a secret. Like, girl, please, you just got back on on good footing with the Abbotts over the past year and a half, and now you being sneaky again, and especially with your own son behind his daddy's back. Girl, if you don't go
Right.
somewhere and sit down. Um, what you got for bold?
Oh, y'all know who I'm giving a seat on bold.
Go ahead, drop the
Eric
book.
is at the top of my list because he started all this mess.
Girl, he don't even need a
Ridge.
seat. He's laying on the floor, you know.
Yeah, well, yep, there you go. That's where he belongs. He needs to get up out of here. I'm ready for this storyline to be over. Um, Ridge also can take a seat because he's driving the whole "we're not going to tell Zende" thing. But Steffi and Thomas can also take a seat because they grew up with Zende. They were close when they were kids, and they're freaking adults. They don't have to listen to what Ridge says. They can go tell Zende what's going on if they want to, and they're choosing not to do it because I guess they just want to honor their father's wishes and not telling him when they know everybody else literally knows what's going on. There's no point in hiding it from them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give Brooke a seat too because I don't think Brooke has told her kids that their
Mm-mm.
father is dying.
Mm-mm. Well, Bridget will find out next week, but, that's about it. I got you. Um, you do your seats, Bree? No.
Uh, I was gonna say because I agree with Keisha at the one she selected, but I was actually gonna say Brad Bell. Um, because at the end of the day, the vision really goes through this man, and I need for him to kind of sit down and really regroup with these storylines. Because they have like some major characters on the show who are just sitting. Bill was a major villain on the show and he's just sitting. Sheila is off, getting her nine toes curled, just sitting. It just makes no sense how we don't really have a real villain on the show or real direction as far as some of the characters. Like Steffi's still with her husband. Hope and Thomas are going to be together. We don't know what Liam's really going to do yet. It's just a lot of loose ends, and he needs to kind of take a seat and kind of evaluate stuff.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
I heard that from at least from the interview on the talk, it sounds like Liam is going to start interfering.
yeah. Maybe we just got it a week later or something coming up. So
Yeah.
as long as they give us a break from the storyline, that's why I think I enjoyed the bold week of the Thanksgiving week because that's when Zende was cutting up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that little 3 day stint on, well, 2 days because that Wednesday was all about Brooke and Ridge and that book he gave her.
I didn't even watch
Girl,
that.
I ain't watched. I was like, yeah, whatever.
I actually watched like the first 10 minutes. Did you see the copy and paste?
Yeah, right,
I
The
girl.
saw it
copy.
online.
It was so. It's like some of them looked actually pretty legitimate, but some of them were so bad. I'm like, y'all could have just focused strictly on what you just went through. And actually, it really should have been like a couple of scenes. They could have had like a whole Thanksgiving episode with other people in it. But oh well.
I can't with
Mm-hmm.
him.
Monique Abrams says the Eric storyline is a F to the 100th power.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, people are just not feeling this thing. And I mean, I got to do my seat. So I'm going to give one to Ridge. I'm going to give one to Eric. And you know what? I'm going to have Aunt Jordan stop by with a couple of bottled waters. So.
Look, Eric already struggling. He'll need poison.
Well, not poison him, poison the storyline.
Oh, got you.
Sheesh. Can we, and don't give an antidote to it. Let's just get it over with, okay?
So I've heard that Brad Bell likes to troll his viewers. Basically, I heard that his people will like go through social media and see what viewers are talking about. And apparently, a lot of times he'll do the opposite of what everybody is wanting just to piss off his fans. Or I guess some of his fans. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard.
I think that is true. It wouldn't surprise me because a lot of television shows, they know there's a lot of podcasts and a lot of people that review their shows, so they take a lot of feedback and insight. I would hope he listens to the podcast like this one. We give lovely suggestions when we're not roasting the show. But no, but I if he is, then let's hope that, while he's not roasting, well, while he's, trying to poke around with his fans, at least take some notes and some insights as to what we're viewing and what we like to see. That's all.
Rachel said in caps, because she said, what if there are Brad Bell spies on this live?
You should be ashamed of yourself for how you're running Eric's exit.
There you go. Wait a minute. Hold on. We're going to clear the airwaves for Keisha, because she will tell you, spies, exactly how she feels.
I wonder if there are spies. Hi, spies.
That's why I said it'd be ninja watching. They'd be ninja watching in the shadows.
Like we said, we love the shows. We just want, this different material, or like at least elevate some of your major characters. Like we keep saying for Y&R, it's Adam. We keep saying for B&B, it's everybody. But
Taylor
mainly. Taylor. Bill. We haven't seen a lot of Bill either.
Exactly. These major characters are on the back burner, and maybe it's because it's like the writer's strike and they didn't want to invest their major characters in storylines that are going to fizzle out. Maybe that was the case. So I'm hoping with the permanent staff that changes things. But, to the Ninja Watchers, we love the show. It's just Brad Bell. What's going on?
Yeah.
I would like to see Liam become a menace. Like a for real menace, to the point where people aren't making excuses for what he's doing, because people like to do that for Liam. I want to see Zendaya go off on everybody, and I want to see Eric finally take his last little scene and go on about his merry way. That's what I'd like to see in the next several months.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, girl, all going through this agony over the past week or so, and they save him. It's like, what y'all do all that for? Just like we saying, why did y'all have Chance shot in order for him to go work in the corporate world and still have googly eyes for Sharon?
Right.
That makes no sense. So, y'all got anything else?
That's it. I'm curious who's going to be chief of police in Genoa City now.
Girl, who knows? Maybe
it's Nick. Nick. He's a temp. There we go. Boom. He the new chief of police.
Girl, please. You think, well, that'll work out for Victor, but girl, I hate to say it. Hey, Bree, I hate to say it, but he's kind of beta. So I don't know if we do that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
She said, wait, what?
What's happening?
I'll drop it in the chat.
Okay.
But who's going to be the chief? They only have one cop.
We don't even need a character that's a cop on that show.
Girl, but somebody got to keep law and order, especially when Victor be trying to think he's above the law.
Exactly. Otherwise, we get the lawyers on the show for no reason.
I mean, unless they make Michael a police.
They can show up every once in a while like they do on Bold.
Oh, yeah. Check this out. Phyllis is going to catch Danny and Christine kissing on Monday.
I mean,
like 30 years ago? Yes, you saw that girl.
But I mean, it's like, so Phyllis is not going to be happy about that. So now what? She going to be obsessed with cricket now again?
But Danny hasn't even shown her any interest.
That's true. That's true. So, well, we'll see. All right, you guys. Good show. Good show. Actually, it lasted a little bit longer than I expected it would, because I didn't think we had two storylines on Young and the Restless, and one and a quarter storyline on Bold, because the quarter storyline was that Deacon and Hope thing.
That wasn't even a quarter.
What is it? 3/16? All right, so make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and stay tuned for the full spoilers. Hope you enjoyed the show, and until next week, are you available next week, Keish?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and hopefully Trish should be back. She had death in her family, so condolences to her family. They had a
We
few.
love you, Trish.
Yes.
Yeah, Trish had services tonight, so she messaged me this morning and said she couldn't make it. So, all right, you guys. Until next week, the week of the 4th through the 8th, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.